Welcome to Queen Talk. I'm so excited.
Me too.
Okay, so for everybody that's watching, welcome to Queen Talk. From time to time, I will be getting together with girls who love God, just for some fun, some growth, and some dope conversation. So I am super excited. Thank you so much for watching. I am your host, Alicia Renee Greer. And today with me, I have my really good friend, Candace Woods. She is an author, a baker, an entrepreneur, a lovely, happy people person. I love her so much. You closed your mouth a little bit. Before we get started, I also want to shout out Mia Perez. She is the one who told me how to get set up on the tech side of things. So I just want to shout her out real quick. She didn't ask me to do it. But Mia Perez has her own show as well on Facebook. You guys can like her page. It's called Real Conversations with Mia Perez. Thank you so much, Mia, for the tech advice. It was very helpful. All right, so let's get started. For those of you who don't know Candace, we're going to do something called a quick Q&A, which is designed to help people get to know you a little bit. So, number one, how did we meet?
We met at Praise City Church, and we had a mutual friend, Tiffany. And so you guys are really close. I think you would come over to the house with Tiffany. That's what it was. You would come over and you were very poised and you had like really pretty dresses and just so like dainty. And I was like, she's just dainty, you know? And so, but we hit it off. It was cool. I remember going out to eat with you one day. We both have a very interesting sense of humor. That's when I was like, oh, she's at home. Poised, pretty dresses, and crazy. And I love it.
Thanks. You never know how people like viewed you before you were friends, you know?
You were like...
Not this. That's a situation that people sometimes dread, like when their friend brings around like another friend and like you see them getting closer, but that definitely happened with us. But I don't think she cared though. We actually weren't that close enough where she would care.
What was your impression of me when we met?
I'm trying to remember because I mainly remember that you're pretty. She's like really pretty. But I didn't know that much about you until we started like cracking jokes and stuff. That's like when I saw your personality, I was like, oh, she's crazy. She's funny. She's silly. Yep. Okay. So who were you in school? Like, were you the popular girl? Were you the quiet one?
I definitely wasn't quiet. I was very social. I was not there for school. I was not there to learn. My dad would be like, you're not going to a fashion show. And I'm like, yes, I am. I wasn't popular, but I mean, a lot of people knew me.
If you were popular, you could say you were popular.
But I wasn't like the cool girl. I wasn't in a clique. And so it was
you were like the floater.
I was a floater. I was the person who would like in every group.
I was never that person. I always admire people like that, but I talked to the same 4 people and that was it. Not out of stuck-upness. It wasn't that. I was definitely the quiet, studious one. Like almost like the nerd, like the honor roll, like always turning my homework, like really about my grades. I didn't know how to make friends outside of my box. It was like day one, I would make like a few friends and then y'all my friends for the whole 4 years. You know, I'm gonna take this opportunity real quick because like my lighting was not doing this before.
Got little dots. Got little dots of light all over your spot.
Right, hold on. I'm gonna just close these windows.
Oh yeah, that was natural. That was funny.
It was getting hot. So I'm like... So continue with the question. So I think this one's obvious. Introvert or extrovert?
Actually, you'd be surprised. I feel like I'm an introvert. I do. Like, nobody believes me. I tell people I'm shy. People don't believe it. What it is this. I'm like Jesus, right? So, joking about the Jesus part. But no, I feel like I'm definitely an extrovert. I do get charged up sometimes around people, but I find a lot more joy being by myself. Maybe it's a combination. Maybe what is the term for the combo when you're like an introvert? That's me. If I do this all the time, I'm no good.
But I think that's everybody. I think everybody needs some downtime. I don't think that makes a person an introvert. But do you think you get more energy from being alone than you do from being with people? Oh, wow. Why when I wrote that question, I was like, watch her try to say she's an introvert. And it exactly happens. But I get that. But you're very outgoing. You would agree, right?
Yes.
Like you're like one of the most outgoing people I know.
Really? What?
Yeah.
Listen, here's what it is. I'm more of an introvert when I don't spend my alone time properly, when I don't manage my time, because I get ideas and I have like things I want to work on. And so during my alone time, if I don't do that, I'm not satisfied or comfortable being around people because I'm like not present.
Okay, I get that. Whenever I take a personality test, I always get introvert, but I'm close to the middle of the spectrum. I'm not like a strong introvert. And you know what? I think for me, I think people think I'm more introverted than I am. I'm not a super deep introvert. Like I'm very like internal and live in my thoughts. So that part is true. But I get energy from being around people, just not from everybody, from certain people. I don't know. I'm definitely more introverted, but I'm a mild introvert.
Yeah.
And maybe kind of an ambivert.
I can see that. I think people can misjudge you because you're reserved naturally. And so just because you're reserved doesn't mean you don't have energy or a lot to say or that you're not having a great time. You're just careful about what you're letting out and what you're releasing.
If anything, this is sad. I might be like an inhibited extrovert. Like, I think if I were not as self-conscious as I am, I would be a lot more extroverted. I really think so.
Because you do like to have fun. I think you like to have more fun than me. Let's go rock climbing. Let's go activity it up. And I'm like me over there, I have my sewing machine.
So 2 more questions. What is a big pet peeve?
Oh, when people chew with their mouth open. I cannot stand that when they smack because it is unnecessary. You do not need to, like, I tried it. Like, it doesn't make the food taste different. As a matter of fact, it takes more work to chew with your mouth open. I feel like you're like, I don't understand it. That's pet peeve number 1.
Mine is also food related. It is when people talk over my food. I hate that. Like, I'm that person that, like, I'm watching you. Like, if I have a plate here and you come right here, like, I don't want you to laugh too much. I don't want you to be like, pa! Like,
gotcha! Alicia! Like that?
Yes, like that.
What you got? That plate.
Oh my gosh, that bothers me. Like, like in my mind, I'm like visualizing like the spit just like covering my food, and I'll like slowly do this
with your hands. Are you serious?
Yeah, I'll like slowly, or maybe like with my fingers. Like, I'll just bring it. I'll like tap it to come closer to me. Like, I'll be like,
You should take a napkin next time and just.
And then the last question is, what is an interest that you have that people might not expect?
There's one that's a little embarrassing, so I don't know if I'll say it right here. Hold on. Did I say it?
Yep.
Okay. So, have you heard of ASMR?
You listen to that?
Sometimes.
That sounded judgmental, huh? You listen to that?
Look. You know.
No, it's not that embarrassing. It's just funny. I wasn't expecting you to say that.
Me either.
I was watching somebody react to ASMR. Now that's funny. And when the girl started like whispering into the microphone, he said, "Oh, you're trying to get into my spirit."
I don't like that, them talking with. What if I did one where I was reading scriptures to people as they're trying to fall asleep?
Oh.
What about you? What's something that you're into that I wouldn't expect?
I really love, you might know by now, I don't know, but I really love a certain kind of anime. Not anime in general, but no, there's this one studio, it's called Studio Ghibli. I have so many DVDs because you can't just watch them in the US. I love them. So like, you have to buy them.
You have DVDs?
Oh yes, several. I have many. I love them so much. Well, thanks for the quick Q&A. Hopefully people got a little taste of your personality and our friendship. So that was fun. We're going to move on to a game called Celebrity Blind Date. So I'm going to tell you about a few guys. I'm going to just give you a few descriptors. You're going to tell me if you want Bachelor 1, 2, or 3. So I can't tell you too much about who they are, but I hope that you marvel at the prospects. That was corny. That was a little hint. So here we go with celebrity blind dates. Okay, so bachelor number 1 is 36 years old. He is 5'11". He loves to make people laugh. He's kind of had like a troubled past that I don't know if a lot of people know about, but he's like survived domestic violence, like when he was younger. Now he like helps youth and orphans. A fun fact is, you already like him. He speaks several languages. Oh, yeah. And I'm not sure of his spiritual beliefs. His mother converted to Judaism. I don't know about him. You can ask him on the date. So that is bachelor number 1.
I like
All right. Okay. So bachelor number 2, he is 44 years old. He's 6 feet tall. He's from South Carolina. He's lived in Brooklyn, but he currently lives in LA. Now he is Christian. He's been baptized and everything. And fun fact, he can sing and he's a vegetarian.
Ooh, okay.
And now the people who are watching can also like be choosing in their mind. And now the last one, bachelor number 3, he is 38 years old. He's 6 feet tall. He was actually born overseas, but his hometown is New York. He only became a U.S. citizen in 2002, actually, but he's had lots of success here. And a fun fact, he is the godson of a billionaire who is a female and a CEO. I don't know anything about his spiritual preferences, but you could ask him on the date. So, do you want bachelor 1, 2, or 3?
You know what? I'm gonna have to go with number 1. He's funny, orphans. Yeah, honestly, number 1. He just sounds like a good person. I want him. I want to marry him.
Okay. Hopefully he'll watch this and then he'll know that you are available. Okay. So bachelor number 1 is yeah, Trevor Noah. So you genuinely, without even knowing who he was, you liked the sound of him as a person.
I love Trevor Noah.
Oh, yay. Okay, well, there you have it. I'm going to show who the other bachelors were just in case somebody else chose someone else in their mind. Bachelor number 2 is Chadwick Boseman.
Okay.
And bachelor number 3 is Sebastian Stan. See, that's why I said Marvel. Like, oh, you said who is that?
Yeah, the last one.
Yes. He plays Bucky in the Marvel series. And he's an actor. He does other things too. But all of these were Marvel actors. And I didn't know that Trevor Noah, I'm slow. I didn't know that Trevor Noah was in Black Panther. Did you know that?
Girl, who was he?
He's the voice of the AI that Shuri created. Because when I was looking at Marvel actors, I was like, Trevor Noah. So yes. So yeah.
Okay. I love Trevor Noah. He's a beautiful soul. Does he have a girlfriend?
I don't know. I only chose people that I know aren't married.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure none of them are married. They might have girlfriends. I don't know. Sorry to the girlfriends if they do.
Wouldn't that be funny if you watched him for real? He reaches out, hey, hello, can you put me in touch with Candace? Call me immediately.
Okay, yeah, that was fun. Okay, so that was Celebrity Blind Date. So now we are ready for our question of the day. And that is, how do you navigate social media in these politically tense times? You know, I think everybody is dealing with that ever since, like, for the past few years. It's just been really tense. So how do you navigate that? First of all, do you unfriend people if they express a view that's really offensive?
Nah. I want to sometimes, but it's not because of the view that they have that's different from mine. It's how they approach the view that's different from mine. When it disrespects a whole entire people group, that's when I want to unfriend them. But I don't because at the end of the day, that's one particular issue out of thousands. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of people who say that one issue, automatically creates a space where we're no longer friends. And I don't see it like that. Now, I'm sure there's a line that you can cross, but if we're friends on social media, we're only so close anyway. And you allowed me the space to peer into your world. I didn't have to have that ability or that opportunity to see that. Whether you told me or not, you already thought that way, you felt that way. I just wasn't able to see it. And now I can disengage from you, or I can just say, okay, that's what they think. That's how they feel about that, and keep it moving. And how I've navigated through this time, shoot, I was like a keyboard warrior. Okay. Like I was going on Candace Owens' page. Like I was going to town, like literally, like it was like my job. It was like night and day, but then I realized, like, wait, hold on, where's my energy going? What am I doing with all this energy? Is it really helpful? Am I really changing somebody's perspective? Am I really impacting the world right now the way I want to, because I'm typing, to somebody who's God knows where? Do they really care about what I have to say? You know what I'm saying? So that was my approach before. I was like, I'm all in there. And if you guys don't know who Candace Owens is, some people love her. I think she has some cool views, but she also has some very offensive views as it pertains to the Black community, in my opinion. I don't know if you want to really touch on that.
No, I agree.
So me personally, I'm not a huge fan of her, a lot of her perspectives. And I see a lot of people that I know, many people that I know who've been on there like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, so I jump in. I'll be like, oh, really? I was calling everybody, oh, really?
I think her perspective is comfortable for people who don't want to change. And so because she's Black, they use her to validate their where they are, because her perspective makes it easier for them to stay in their mindset, and they feel validated because, well, this is the Black person saying it.
Absolutely. She gives them the green light to stay prejudiced. Yeah. She gives them the green light to stick with their stereotypes. So I say all that to say, I saw a lot in the last several months, and I was throwing a lot of my energy out there, and I realized that it wasn't yielding anything on this side. And I was the one walking around angry. I'll be in here just like ticked. I'm like, why am I so angry? I'm walking around like putting stuff away. I'm like, why am I mad? It's like 3:00 in the afternoon. Like I don't care. Like seriously, and I'm like angry, just mad for no reason. So I'm like, all this crap is in my spirit. I'm carrying it around. So I had to like realize, like, I'm gonna let people have their opinions because I can't change it. I don't delete them.
I am also like you. I have not to date unfriended anyone because of a view that they expressed. Now, what I have done is I will unfollow the mess out of people. like on Facebook, you're still friends. You can still go to their page when you want to, but they're not going to automatically be in your timeline. Yeah. I love to do that. Or sometimes what I do a lot these days is I'll use that snooze for 30 days. Like that snooze for 30 days is like my best friend, because sometimes it's like, you're just annoying me right now while this topic is fresh, and I don't want to hear your perspective on it every single day. You know what I mean? Because like once I've identified, like, I don't agree with your perspective, I don't have value, I don't see value in it. Now the only thing that it's doing is annoying me or making me upset, like you said. So I feel like it's my responsibility to manage my own emotional health and not expose myself to something that I know is going to piss me off. So I will unfollow somebody. And you know what's so crazy? There is someone that I worked with in the past, and there's no way she's watching this because she hasn't interacted with my Facebook page in like years and years. So I don't feel like I might offend her, because basically if you're watching this, I'm not talking about you. This is someone who like never talks to me on social media. But anyway, but we are friends technically. She was so sweet at the job, like so chipper. Like I thought she was like a nicer than average person, like so kind, like so helpful. Like, you know, when you IM people, because we also never really saw each other face to face. It was always IM. Okay. So like instant messenger. So like, you know, I would need something, I'd have to send it over to her department. She's like, oh yes, right away. Like she's just so sweet, so kind. Like, oh, I hope you're having a good day today. Da, 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 da. Like just so nice. I loved working with her. Then when we became Facebook friends, she has so many like prejudice beliefs. And you know what? I wonder now, I'm like, she didn't know that I was Black because we were IMing. She might have thought I was white. I don't know. But she just like has so many things, like they're on welfare, they're not doing that. I'm like, it's shocking. Like it's really shocking. But I did not unfriend her. I didn't just snooze her. I unfollowed because I didn't want to see that every day. But at the same time, I want to be able to be an influence in that person's life too. And so if you unfriend, then you are removing the opportunity for you to like rub off on them. I do think it's important to not lose the ability to speak into people's lives, but not at the expense of your peace and your sanity. Like there does come a point, like when Jesus said, like you wipe the dust off, you know, like if people are just closed, it's no longer your responsibility.
You know what? And it's easy to realize, it's easy to identify when you've hit that space. One of my friends, she kept saying, Candace, you gonna learn about going back and forth with them people. They don't care about what you got to say. She kept telling me, Candace, don't learn. She's like, I don't educate people that don't take time to educate themselves about social justice and race relations. She's like, I just don't do it. They have enough information out there. They're choosing this. And so they call it, willful ignorance. So I feel like the space where, like somebody is like, you need to brush your hands and keep it moving is when they go back and they throw something right back at you. So you come with a valid point, like, okay, over in Central Park, when she did that whole charade and was like, oh no, started screaming and whatnot on the phone. It was like, he's gonna meanwhile he's standing right there and moved an inch. And I'm like, I'm telling them, hey, this is very similar to Emmett Till. This could have been an Emmett Till situation on repeat. And then I sent over a very convincing article with the image of Emmett Till. They don't get more real than that. And they come back with something else. They're not trying to hear me because I gave them a fact. I'm telling them why what she did was wrong, why I do not support her position or Candace Owens' position in this situation. And I give supporting evidence, and then they come right back with something else. You're not trying to hear me. You wanted to stick with you have an agenda. So what I'm going to do now is I'm not going to argue with you. And it took me about a good solid month. There was a quote that says, normalize getting new information and changing your perspective.
Yes, I saw that. I sometimes think we have to do a little bit better job of making it slightly easier for people to apologize. Because sometimes, like, let's say a company puts out a commercial and Black people don't like that commercial. Like, for instance, Dove has done that. Dove UK had like this product. I think it was like a lotion or I don't know, something. It was like a tanning something. And it was like fair to normal skin and then dark skin or deep, but they used the word normal. And Black people were like, oh no, like the white skin tone shouldn't be the normal, And so they corrected it. They were like, we're so sorry, we missed this. They apologized. But I saw a lot of people were like, oh no, they only apologize because they're about to lose money, da 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 da. Like, I think if we are like that, like, well, then why would people want to apologize? Now, I totally get, like, we don't want to accept a disingenuous apology. And I get that we don't want to accept an apology where it's lip service, but the systems or something doesn't change. That I completely understand. But in like one-on-one interactions, I think we just shouldn't be so quick to accuse someone of not being genuine. If someone apologizes, I would rather like respond to that with a little bit of grace, because I think otherwise we're demotivating people from even trying.
I agree with you 100%. I mean, it's like that in relationships. I mean, we've all known people in some way, maybe we've been that person. I don't know, but where, you say, oh, I'm sorry. And they're like, yeah, well, you always, and you're just like,
well, dang, well, okay, well, I'm not sorry.
I should have said, I'm sorry. Cause now it turns into something different, And so I've made it kind of like a thing where when people apologize to me, first thing I'm gonna do is be like, okay, cool. Thank you so much. And try to like, let's swap it. Like, let's just, because when you, like you said, when you make it difficult to apologize, then you really make it difficult to be in a relationship with you. Wow. Because we're going to do things to offend each other, period. Yeah. We've been friends. You've done things to offend me. I've done things to offend you. But because we're able to like exercise forgiveness, it makes it possible for us to be in relationship. And I think that same thing applies culturally. Forgiveness. Yeah. Forgive.
Preachers love to do that. They love to like break things down. So how do you bring the Lord into your perspective on this? Like how you navigate social media, your relationships?
You know what? I don't. No, I'm just kidding. No. I think COVID has been like the eye opener that this world is not going to be here forever. It causes me to back up enough to be able to not give unnecessary energy to certain things. I'm like, okay, if Jesus really coming back, which I believe he is, and we don't know when he's coming back, but it's looking like soon, then we got to be ready. And the one commandment that Jesus like gave us, like the one where he's like not even joking around, is love your neighbor. He's like the commandment. He repeated it multiple times, like love. They're going to know who you are by your love. Love, 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 love. And so it's like, all right, that means I got to keep my heart right. I got to keep my heart before the Lord. Did you hear that baby out there crying?
I do. I was like, people don't think that's my baby. And like, that is not my baby.
But no, I just feel like, how do I bring God into that? It's remembering that love is all. I don't get it right every single time. But, I have friends who do the utmost. And I'm like, but God loves them. And also, God loves me and my little funkiness, so it's like, it gives me space just to have more grace.
Yeah, and I love that. That doesn't mean that you don't speak about the issues. Because if anyone is on your Facebook page, you speak about the issues a lot, very often. So it's not about, because I think some people do that. They think like to be Christian is to like sweep it under the rug so that we can all get along, which I personally don't think is biblical. And I am writing a book about it. So I hope to be done soon so that I can break that down. Because I think people are really watering down the faith to enable their, their wrong beliefs. So anyway, so I love that you do still speak about the issues. You're not compromising the truth. However, you're also not leaving behind the love, which I do think that the love can get lost. And I don't think that we have to do one or the other. I do think it's possible to do both. For me, it's not even just the love, like that's there. But for me, I always ask myself, like, what do I want the result of this post to be? Because I think if you say something really hard, it feels good to the people who already agree. But when you say it with grace, I think there's a bigger chance of someone who doesn't agree being a little bit more moved. But I think if you say something really hard and just really I think that builds up people's defenses. Like I've had multiple times where someone will come to me privately and ask me about an issue. Like, this is how I'm looking at this issue, but tell me from a Black person's standpoint. And I take that, I don't take that lightly at all. So I never want to lose, I guess, the ear of those people. Like there's like a middle group. I think there's people who they're just closed, but then there are people who are willing to listen. And I think it's important to remain a safe space for those people. Is for them to feel like if I ask Alicia, she's not going to like snap at me like, well, you should already know this and white people are so this and white people, you know what I mean? Like I want to say it with grace, because what if I was a person who didn't know something? I would not want to be snapped at. You know what I mean? I want someone to be able to like bring me along. And I understand the people, to be clear, I do understand the people who feel like they don't want to be somebody's teacher. I get that too. I'm just speaking for myself, because some people are like, I don't have the energy to be like, everybody's go-to person. So I like to be that for people personally.
And you're like that. You're good at communicating. You're a great communicator. So.
Oh, thank you. But it is hard though, because when you see the extent of the racism and the injustice, it does make you want to be bad. Like I feel that level of anger too, but I make myself deliver it in a way that could possibly win someone, and I like the Bible even says be all things to all people to save some, and this isn't this isn't about salvation, but still to win over some. You're not going to win over everyone, but you might win over some if you have a tone in there where you can be received.
They don't want to come to somebody, that in need and then leave feeling worse about themselves. Right. Or feeling bad because they didn't know, or bad because they were in need. Like that's no way to. No, ma'am. But they say no, ma'am, no ham, no turkey.
Oh, I've never heard that. Nope. Well, thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. Before I let you go, there's always so much more to say, but we have a limited amount of time. But before I let you go, I did want to let people know how to find you, because you are a woman of many talents. You love to cook. You have something called Kitchen Therapy with Candy Lou on Facebook. Do you want to tell people a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, I'll say quickly. So Kitchen Therapy with Candy Lou is just a space where I get online. I typically do Facebook Lives and I cook dinner. I just cook dinner right there in my kitchen. and I show you quick, fast, affordable ways to use what you have in the kitchen, period.
Oh,
Anybody can cook. Whether you want to cook or not, you can cook with what I'm showing you. And it's freedom in the kitchen.
And when you say anyone can cook, I know that you really mean that, even children, because you have a book called The Most Forgetful Rabbit Ever, a children's book. It's so adorable. If anyone wants to pick it up, you can visit theforgetfulrabbit.com, or you can follow on Instagram at theforgetfulrabbit. But do you want to tell people really quickly what that is about?
It is about his name is Jax, and he's a chef that happens to be a rabbit. And he, when you think you're about to go make something, and as soon as you get in the kitchen, you're like, oh shoot, I'm about to make some Kool-Aid, but where's the sugar? That's it. So you gotta get the book to figure out how his saga ends, because he's definitely doing some back and forth, trying to make his way around the kitchen.
That's so adorable. Well, you guys go follow Candace. I'm so glad that she was able to be here with us. And as always, you can also follow me if you're not following me already at Alicia R. Greer, or you can check out my website, legacy1.com/Alicia. And for sure, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. We're going to be doing this periodically in between the other videos. Going to have some other guests, so you guys don't want to miss out. So thank you so much, Candace, and I'll catch you guys later.